All right, guys, happy 4th of July, and thanks for stopping by Moodog's Frugal RCs and more. Today we're going to be having a look at a RC quadcopter that I purchased on Amazon.com. I'll leave a link in the description below if you guys want to check it out. It's a real hot day today, guys, so let's get started on this one. All right, as you can see from the box, we're going to be looking at the Yang X33C-1. This is a Wi-Fi FPV quadcopter. It's also a folding quadcopter, which makes it compact, nice to throw in a backpack, take with you to parties, wherever you're going to go with it, basically, just to have some fun. It is running a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi signal to the camera, from the camera to your actual device, so you'll be using a smartphone, either iOS or Android would work fine with this one. This comes in a box, a pretty small box. It is a folding quadcopter, so the box doesn't need to be real big. The bottom of the box here, you're going to have all your warnings. The side of the box, it's going to tell you that you have 4 blade covers for free, which essentially are going to be your prop guards, and they're always for free. So that's kind of a weird thing that they have on there. But on this side, the top side of the box, you have basically all the apps that you can use, are actually all the places that you can download the app to run the Wi-Fi FPV. And the back of the box is just basically the same as the front. Now, I've already got this unboxed, so let's take a look at the contents. Alright, guys, inside the box is going to come pretty much your standard accessories that you're getting with any quadcopter that you would purchase nowadays. It's going to come with landing gear. The landing gear is pretty easy to install. It presses into the bottom of the fuselage on the quadcopter, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But it does come with the landing gear, so that's kind of nice to have. It comes with 4 prop guards, as stated on the side of the box. They were free, which they usually always are with any quadcopter that you purchase. I highly recommend installing these if you're a newbie just starting to fly, or if you're going to be trying to fly this thing inside the house, which I don't really recommend unless you have a really wide open space. But those are there for you as well, so use those if you need to. They're there. It also comes with only 2 spare props. Now, these are both an A and a B designated prop. You guys can see that. Hopefully you can see that. The sunlight is kind of bright out here. It's really warm on this deck here. But the A and the B designated props, and on the quadcopter itself, the motor pods are designated A and B, so you make sure you put them on the right motors, otherwise your quadcopter will not work properly. It also comes with a USB to JST connector for your battery charger. This would just plug into like a phone wall wart or into the side of your computer, and a USB on your computer, and that comes with it. And then you get your obligatory screwdriver. This is not the screwdriver that came with this kit. This is one from another quadcopter, but essentially it's the same thing. And then you get your camera. So your camera is going to be what they're claiming to be an HD camera. I don't know. I tried it out once. I had it up in the air once. It didn't look to be that HD. So I'm assuming this is going to be probably a 0.3 megapixel standard definition, which would be 480p on this one. But it does have the connector up on top, and I'll show you how that installs on the back. The Wi-Fi antennas on the back here. So I'll show you how to install all of that in just a second here. And then we have the quadcopter. Now, the quad is a completely folding quad. Nice looking unit here. The front is going to be here. It says Folding Joe, and the model number is X33C-1 for this particular one. This is folding, and you can see it by the underside here that the arms would fold out without having to hit these levers. These levers are going to be for actually folding it back up. So opening it up is just basically clicking it into place. The battery compartment's on the bottom here, and this does come with a 3.7 volt 800 milliamp hour battery with a JST connector, and everything plugs into the bottom here. So modifications on this one, if you guys are going to do that, would probably require actually taking the quad apart and then running different wires out. So if you wanted to run like a low C or a different type of connector on here, a 1S connector, you would have to do that. Your camera is going to connect inside here, and you want to make sure that you're watching the making sure that you're lining this up correctly so you're not putting it in wrong and bending pins. So I'll go ahead and pop that in real quick here. I'll try to do that on camera as efficiently as I can. That's a little bit of a difficult proposition. Let's go ahead and pop that in place. All right, now we got it in place now, and you can see up on top here we have 2 little tangs, and underneath here there's one tang and then a little clip on the top. So essentially this would just clip into place here and then slide up. But let's go and put that battery compartment back on first. And that's just basically making sure that your wires are straight up in the front here. And there's two little tab holes here. And that gets snapped into place, everything out of the way. Now, this did come with a little screw that would go into the battery compartment to keep everything secure. I don't use it. I don't think you really need to. You can if you want. It is there. And then connecting the camera. I don't know if you guys can see this. I hope you can. Is going to be sliding this little tongue under that tang and then popping it up into place. And that's pretty much it. So your camera is installed. Now installing the landing gear is nothing more than just pressing them into place. So we have one here, and the other one on the other side. Same way. Sorry guys, I was a little fidgety off on camera here, so let's go ahead and move this around this way. And that's it. So there you have it. There's your finished product quadcopter there. Nice looking quad. It does come with a transmitter as well. The transmitter is decently sized. It's not too big, not too small. It does, however, feel a little on the cheap side. Keep in mind, though, guys, that this quad was about $30 on Amazon. And again, the link will be in the description for you guys to check it out. This is pretty basic. It does your dual speeds here, and I'm sorry, I think it's 3 speeds, and I'll annotate that in case I misspeak here. I'm pretty sure it's 3 speeds on here. You have your flip button on this side. You have your auto takeoff here and auto land. The rest of these are going to be trims. This is an altitude hold quadcopter. You'll notice that by the throttle stick centering itself, just as the pitch and roll stick on this side and the rudder. This is actually rudder here, pitch and roller on this side. But yeah, it's a decently sized transmitter, no frills, nothing really to write home about, but still nice enough for the money. Feels good in the hand. So, and this one is going to take 4 AA batteries. And again, on the back here, you're going to have a screw. Hope you guys can see all this. This shadowing is kind of weird here. But it's going to have a screw on the back here, so this comes out. And you can either keep the screw in or take it out and leave it out, whichever you prefer. But the back does seem to be pretty secure on here. So 4 AA batteries fit right in there. It's being sold as a ready-to-fly quadcopter, but it is actually not ready to fly. You do have to purchase the batteries on your own. You have to supply those on your own. So I'll go ahead and get that screw back in there, and there's a couple more things I wanted to show you guys. We'll go ahead and get this thing powered up. Be right back. I forgot to mention before that it does come with a instruction manual. Basically, you're going to get a QR code here that you can scan. It'll actually bring you to downloading the app for the Wi-Fi FPV, and there's just some other basic information, interface, illustrations of what the interface for the app looks like. This quadcopter can also be flown directly with your phone, so you don't necessarily need the transmitter to fly this. You can fly it directly through the app as well. Now, it does come with the X33C operating manual. This is in pretty broken English, guys. It is decently laid out, so it's going to have some helpful information in it. Packing, basically what's going to come in the package, safety precautions. It does have a layout for the transmitter, and the transmitter, as you saw, was not labeled, so you're going to have to use this to kind of find out where everything is if you're new to this quad. Once you learn it, it's fine. What I generally will do is I'll go ahead and I'll make tags, I'll make labels, and I'll label all of the functions on it until I learn it, and I may or may not pull them back off again and use it without the labels. But yeah, it's got all the how to trim it, how to basically get things set up, how to calibrate the gyros, all of that type of stuff. Broken English is kind of difficult in some spots to understand, but the pictures, I think, kind of tell a story. It's in and of themselves. So it gives a parts list on the back here as well. Good to have around, good to keep for reference. So I usually hang on to those for the most part. I don't get rid of them. Next thing we're going to do is go ahead and pair this thing up and get the Wi-Fi going. The first thing you're going to need to do is get yourself a phone to use. Now I've got a dedicated phone for this purpose, and I'll see what I did with it here. Hang on one second, let me grab the phone. Alright guys, the first thing we're going to want to do to get this thing paired up, obviously, is to go on and download that Wi-Fi FPV app off of the either the Play Store or the Apple App Store. And then once that's downloaded on your phone and you have your Wi-Fi set up, turned on your device, go ahead and turn the power on the bottom of the drone, and you can see, hopefully you can see in these lights, but there are blinking lights. There's green LEDs in the front of the quad and then red ones in the back. Kind of difficult to see in this light, but they are flashing right now. So what we're going to want to do is go ahead and set the drone down facing away from us. And the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and turn the phone on, actually get this going here. And this is a device that I use solely for Wi-Fi FPV, and I'm going to go ahead and just turn the brightness up on here so maybe we can see this a little easier here. Device, and we'll go display and outdoor mode. That might be a little easier to see. I don't think you're going to be able to see that though. But what I'm doing here is going ahead and opening up my Wi-Fi app. And I'm already connected to my home Wi-Fi, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and this is going to be the YD720P UFO app right here. So we're going to go ahead and get connected on that one. And we'll go ahead and hit connect on there. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. You may not be able to. But it is connected right now, so we do have Wi-Fi FPV. Now we're going to go back into our apps, and the app that we downloaded off the Play Store in this case is going to be the YD Pilot FYD here. And we'll go ahead and hit that. And I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it does say play on here. It's going to be difficult to see this, I know, and I apologize guys for the sun here, but it's going to say play. I'll go ahead and hit the play, and we do have Wi-Fi FPV right now, so it is working, and I do have a picture. Next thing we're going to do is grab our remote, our transmitter, and we'll go ahead and put the phone into the holder and get that into the holder there. Now these type of holders are not my favorites because they clamp over the phone, and sometimes depending on where your volume rocker and your power button are located on the device, sometimes these can actually, you know, kind of turn the phone off or turn the screen off, do things like that, which are undesirable in this case. But next thing we will do is go ahead and turn the transmitter on and go up and down, and we should have power, and we do. Oh, and we do. Alright guys, I'm going to throw some video in here. Now this is first person view, or actually the quadcopter's view, with the 720p camera. Now I don't know if this is actual 720p, and quite frankly the video is being compressed by YouTube, so the resolution is going to be less than what I'm actually seeing, but you can get an idea in an urban setting what kind of performance you're going to get from this camera. The quadcopter itself is a really great flyer. It's very stable. The second speed range is very fast for what it is for an altitude hold quad. Seems to work out really well. Camera wise, you're not going to be shooting any movies with this thing, guys. It's a toy. It's out there made to have fun with. So if you guys are buying this for any other intent than having a good time and maybe, you know, lining up a shot or two and maybe posting something on social media, this is probably not the quad for you. But I think for, you know, the $30 at the price point, you really can't go wrong with something like this. You know, and so I guess the bottom line is, would I recommend this? Yeah, I'd recommend it. But keep in mind what it is and what it's intended for. That's about all, guys. I want to thank you guys for stopping by, for hanging out with me. This is Moo Dog, and we'll see you all in the next one. God bless the Republic.